I'm looking at you and I'm saying, well, you lived in an urban area. So I'm imagining somebody who lives in a rural area, for example, who doesn't even have a primary health care close. You went to the hospital. You were being treated for other things instead of, diagnosing kidney disease. I asked Professor Abdul earlier. He found a way around it. But I want you to tell me, do you think that it was lack of infrastructure on the part of the facility you went to, the health center you went to, or the hospital? You went to a hospital.
I went to a general hospital.
That's a tertiary hospital.
Yes.
Now, or you think that the medical personnel just didn't have the required knowledge to deal with this? Would you say that's the issue? And then speak to us about cost. I mean, before the transplant, just tell us about what it took you to manage it before you went for transplant.
Okay, first, let me start with visiting the hospital. I said earlier, I visited a general hospital. And I didn't see just one doctor. I saw up to 3 different doctors. The first doctor started with malaria, second with malaria, the third advanced to typhoid. That, okay, they have treated you for malaria the first time, they've treated you for malaria the second time, they've treated you for, now let's try treating you for typhoid. And it was typhoid, they treated me for typhoid the third time. It was the 4th doctor that I saw that now read my file. They have treated you for malaria 2 times, typhoid once, and you still have all these symptoms. And in short, it's not even getting better. She was the one that now she was the one that referred me to Wuse General Hospital and recommend that I do the test, that is the kidney test. She was the one that recommended me there. And now I think it's just the awareness on the side of the medical practitioners. But because the way it is right now, the awareness, I think, is going around in the sense that if you go to hospital now, if they are even treating you for malaria, they will still ask you to do a kidney test. They'll ask you to do the, doctor, what is it even called? The urea and creatinine. Now, that was what the doctor now recommended. Go and do your urea and creatinine test. It was when I did my urea and creatinine test, she now saw that the creatinine was high, the urea was high. That was why she referred me to Wuse General Hospital. Now, in that general hospital, they don't have a kidney section there. What they have is the general section where they just treat people for other things. So I think if they could include these the kidney sections, nephrology sections in most of, you know, it's not all the general hospitals that have nephrology sections. So most times, if they don't have nephrology sections, they don't ask you to do all these tests. Then, now they ask you to do it. So then I think it was the awareness on the medical practitioners themselves. Because I went to a general hospital, I saw a practicing doctor. So now, check, it is the 4th doctor after 3 months that now recommend I do urea and creatinine. That was when I was now referred to. So
lack of awareness on the part of medical personnel.
Yes.
Now speak to us about cost. What did it cost you? Not the transplant, we'll get to that.
Okay.
It's a journey.
Okay.
Speak to us, not the malaria and typhoid treatment,
okay.
Of course.
Now, when I met him,
yes,
now it has been detected that I have kidney disease. And I have to start, he asked me to start, he placed me on dialysis immediately. And he said I have to be doing it 3 times a week. And then it was 25,000 per section.
What year was this? That
was 2022.
Okay.
I started, I had it 2019. I did my transplant 2022. So I was on kidney disease for 3 whole years. So this started September 2019. That was when I met him. And he said I have to be doing the dialysis 3 times a week. And then 2019, it was 25,000. And you know the value of Naira then is stronger than now.
Of course.
So now, aside from the tests which I have to be running, sometimes basically weekly, I have tests that I run. So I spend 75,000 Naira per week on dialysis. And within that period, it increased. That was in Wuse General Hospital. Now, they have some private hospitals that did for 30, that did for 35. But the cheapest then, they were virtually like the cheapest then. And it was 25,000 Naira per week.
Because
so
it's government hospital,
yes.
by the way.
Were you on NHIS or something?
No, I wasn't on NHIS. I wasn't working with the government. I was working with a private company. Now, it doesn't cover it. So I was spending 75,000 Naira on weekly basis, aside the drugs. Now, there is this erythropoietin, there is this iron injections that I take weekly. He recommended I take it to boost the blood, because when you have that disease, you just notice that your blood continue to drain. you start going, your PCV continues to drop. And if you are not at a certain level of blood, PCV of I think 20 what, I can't remember, I think 28 or something then, they can't dialyze you. So sometimes when you get there and they said, okay, fine, your PCV is low, they will ask you to go and get blood. And he said, based on the fact that he wants me, he's really been guiding me, based on the fact that he wants me to do a transplant, and it's not advisable to be getting blood before you do the transplant from blood from people, so that he placed me on erythropoietin and iron injection, which boost my blood.
For how long did you have to manage this before you went for the transplant?
3 years. He managed me for 3 years.